Welcome. This is another one of your videos for your Greek exegesis course. This video is about the Roman Empire and how the Roman Empire was all about the money. It's about the ancient Roman oligarchy, and the first part of this video series is about the kingdom, the republic, and the empire of Rome. So Roman rule had several influences into the Christian and into the life of everyday Romans or non-Roman citizens under their control. There were certain things that the Greek-Roman society, and in fact the Mediterranean society today, still concerns itself with. These things are the very tenets of the society. One of these tenets you can understand fairly easily is purity or pollution. That's something, although we may not have this stark edge on it in America, we may understand, and many other cultures may. The other thing is honor or shame. Family, non-family. The one that we'll focus on in this video is about patronage. Who is your patron? Now, patronage is woven into the very story of Rome's origin, and we'll go through very briefly the stories or the origin story that's told by Livy. Livy begins its book saying that the early Romans, or people around Rome who set in Viventi, came from Trojans. They were fleeing Trojans who, after the Greeks brought in the Trojan horse and Troy fell, who escaped across the Asiatic Sea and into the Adriatic. So if you look at it, it says that Aeneas settles in the north of Italy, where you see the one, marrying a king's daughter. And then this man goes south to where number 2 is, to the Latin area, and marries the king's daughter there. If you then see north of it, there's a border, and the Eustratians and the Latins, which comes from Latium, set a border at the Tiberias River. So though Aeneas has his parents or his father in the Venetian area, which is north, he settles and marries in the area where it is around Rome. This Latin kingdom has 10 generations of kings, most of them nicknamed Sylvanus, which is interesting in its closeness to Saul or Silas. And in the end, this generation is halted at a certain by King Numitor, who is killed by his brother Aemilius, who makes his daughter a Vestal Virgin, which means she couldn't have children, even in the Roman society. And that puts an end to these kings. But Livy goes on to say, now you have this remarkable fate. And this is the story you may have heard as Romulus and Remus. This Vestal Virgin has twins and cites the god Mars as father. Someone else might have been, but she cites it as father. She's cast into prison. The 2 twins she has are exposed in the floodplain of Tiber, hopefully to be drowned in the Tiber as it floods. But they don't. They get sort of washed up in an area, and a wolf comes and supposedly takes care of them, and they drink from her teats. And the keeper brings the children home to his wife, who's also nicknamed Lupa, Wolf. So who knows exactly what's happened? The children grow up hunting in the forest, and as grown men, the king of Aeneas captures Remus. Romulus, one of the twins, rescues Remus, and Romulus and Remus kill their uncle Aemilius, who's killed their father. Now, the people ask to see who's going to be king, and they ask each of the twins to choose a hill for the new city. Romulus chooses Palatine, which becomes the Palatine in Rho, and Remus Aventine. The omen of 6 vultures that land on these hills causes Romulus to be king. Remus is angered by the choice and fights Romulus and is killed. So you notice that Rome's beginning is very bloody. Romulus sets up 12 lictors with guardians to carry or enforce the law with him. He sets up 100 senators. Livy kindly says they're patricians, but these probably are the only people who gathered to this new ruler from all around other cities as outcasts who knew their father. He sets 300 men as knights or bodyguards or Solaris, and he gathers outcasts. So the beginning of Rome, Livy clearly says, comes from outcasts from every. They refused intermarriage because of their outcast heritage, and the Romans carry off the Sabine virgins from their neighboring country, and the war between the Sabines and the Rome starts, but the women cast themselves in the middle of the battleground and stop the war. Well, at the Remus death, later at 17 BC, since many people consider this, whether it's fact or fiction, Romulus is killed, and yet someone reports, "Go tell the Romans that the gods will that my Rome should become the capital of the world. Therefore let them cultivate the art of war, let them know and hand it down to posterity that no power shall be able to withstand the Roman arms. Having ascended this, he ascended into heaven." You see the sort of tales that might have been told. Now, the suspicion is that the senators killed Romulus by Cassiodeo, and the 100 senators took up the government. 10 senators rule with the lictors, and they rotate who is governed, but the people wanted a king. But the senators determined they must approve the king, so they are the power. The changes to the ruling body go from 1753 to 500 CE. You have the rule of kings, 100 senators. At the end of it, there's probably 300 senators with nobles who are elected, who help this election. Then there's also something that starts, which are these equestrian, these soldiers, these knights. At first, there's about 3 centuries with about 1,800 soldiers. At the last, there's about 12 centuries with 5 classes. The first class of these knights are required to have horses and war machines, hence the name equestrian. Well, at the same time, after 505 BC to 27, the Senate goes from 300 to 900, and the rulers are really the consuls, which is an elected position, where they have 2 per year for the senators. One is a military chief, one is the head of state, and they rotate it. Now, at one point, the plebes, I mean the people who were not in the Senate of the question, rebelled, and they have a lictincina law that says you have to have 1 plebes leader, and so there's 12 tribunes per plebes. That was done in 494 BC. So the Rome under the Caesar, the Caesars actually grabbed control, and Caesar Augustus I reduces the 900 or so senators that it had become by his time to 300. There was no real power, but there was social standing, and it was from that place that you got proconsuls, or provincial governments would allow them to get additional money. The equestrians, Augustus organized to a military class, and it's a business-based class. If anyone has 400 sesterces, you can enter it. Now, Rome at 14 Christian era after Augustus encompassed most of the Mediterranean Sea and into the Black Sea. And so they had an idea that if they conquered, it's all about the money. Conquering was done from this oligarchy, and We'll talk more about it in our second, where we have conquerors, classes, and clients as our topic. Thank you.